It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and our mission really is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Wendell Graham. He's in the building. He'll be talking about sales success strategies. Can't wait to find out about this. This should be interesting. What's going on, Wendell? How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. How you doing, Shay? Everything's going great, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks a lot for being here. I appreciate your time. And thank all of you who are watching, by the way, allowing us to stream into your home. We appreciate it. So when they see the word sales, a lot of people just cringe right away and said, oh my gosh, they're talking about sales again. Take a moment if you can. I know it might be an obvious question, but it's so important. Why do people just have a resistance to sales? Like, why these days?
That's a great question. You know, I'm going to give you a very unique answer. And I don't know if you've heard this one before, but I'm going to dive off the deep end. I believe that every single one of us is great at sales. No one's horrible at sales. We're all great at sales. And what I mean by that, Shay, is that everybody sells us on who they are and what they represent. Either you love it or you don't. I'll give you a real quick example if you don't mind. If I go to a restaurant and I'm ordering a meal, and I asked the waitress or the waiter or the server, have they ever had the fettuccine? And they say to me, you know what? I never eat at this restaurant. They just sold me on the restaurant. I'm sold that they don't like the food here. However, if I ask the waitress or the server if they like the food or if they had the fettuccine and they answered yes, then they've sold me on they like the food there. In other words, we sell people on who we are and what we are every single day. No one's horrible on sales. We sell people to do business with us, or we sell people that we're not the people to do business with.
I love it, man. I love the example. Spot on. And for the person that's watching right now says, okay, I'm with them. I feel that. And they feel your heart and where you are. And they're like, okay, but when I think of sales, I think I've got to convince someone and make them do something because I'm a business owner and I'm trying to get paid. Right. And
Right.
for some people, that may be a reality if they believe it. To that person that's watching now, and they're like, I like what he says, and that's me. But for some reason, in the back of my mind, I keep thinking, I've got to get them to buy my product. I got to get them to buy my service. Why is that a
Right.
mindset that some people have?
It all deals with personal development. Sales is nothing, it's influence, the confident ability to change another person's thoughts, beliefs, and or actions. Influence, again, is the confident ability to change another person's thoughts, beliefs, and or actions. So selling is nothing more than transferring emotion. If I can make you feel about my product or service like I already feel, then you'll buy every single time, provided you have the resources, you have the need, and you have the desire. So selling is nothing more than making you feel about Wendell Graham like I already feel about Wendell Graham. If I don't like Wendell Graham and I convey that over to you, you've been sold. So it's transferring that energy, it's transferring that emotion. So we focus on sales and we think that it's about some magical potion, but it's really just transferring how you feel about something. I got to know about my service, I got to know about my product, and if I don't believe in it, you're going to pick up on that intuitively. Your spider senses are going to kick in and say, you know what, this guy doesn't believe in what he's telling me. And when that happens, people buy that you don't know what you're talking about, that you don't believe in your product or your service, and that I need to go elsewhere with someone with some knowledge about what it is that they're doing. So selling is that transferring of emotion. How do you feel about your service or product? How do you feel about your business? How do you feel about yourself? And if I give you a negative impression of myself, you're going to buy that and you're going to go elsewhere and do business.
I love it. We'll get into your background in a few moments. I know folks are curious. They hear you firing off. They're like, man, I'm there, Shay, but I'm curious. What is Wendell's view on the world in terms of, do I have to be this extrovert? Do I have to be always out there? By nature, there's two types of folks. I mean, this is a general statement, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm trying to frame the conversation so Wendell can answer the question. Some folks think they're just extroverts. So they're outgoing and they're always talking to everybody and talking to people they feel very comfortable with. So selling, they got to get it right. Then there's another group of folks out there, believe it or not, I'm one of those folks who are introverts, that they really like to be left alone. They don't want to be talking to people if they don't have to. The question I have for you, a little unfair as well, but do I have to be an extrovert to be a great person at sales if I'm someone who's naturally an introvert, if that's naturally my style?
Well, I found that a lot of people are situational introverts and situational extroverts. It just depends on the situation. You don't have to be an extrovert to be a great salesperson, and vice versa. What it is that you do have to believe in what it is that you're selling. I go right back to the same thing, Shay, is that if you don't have the confidence in yourself or your product or your service, if you don't have that, then what you'll do is you'll transfer that maybe accidentally in a lot of instances, and then the person won't believe in it. So you don't have to have that personality trait of an introvert or an extrovert. It's how much knowledge do you have about what it is that you do. A lot of people, I find that we become good at the wrong thing. We become good at the wrong thing, and then what we do is we try to go into a field that we're not confident in, and we transfer that energy. So it's all about transferring the energy about what you feel and what you believe in. Do you really believe in the product or service? And I stick there because that's so important.
I love that, man. But I feel your energy right now, and I firmly believe that you believe in what you believe, and that's a good place to
Yes, sir.
start. Some folks don't know you, man. They have not read your bio. They did not Google you
Right.
beforehand. Others have. Some of you are like, I know who this guy was. I came to this call to get what I'm getting now. And others are like, I'm just finding out this person. So can we slow down for a moment and you take a minute or two
Absolutely.
and the question, who are you? And what's the backstory, that defining moment that led you to doing what you're doing now?
Well, my name is Wendell Graham. I hail from the beautiful city of Mobile, Alabama, right there on the Gulf Coast. It's the Gulf of America, I believe now. I'm not real sure, not 100%. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that I'm from Mobile, and I didn't start off as a business person. I kind of got into it by a situation, a life-changing situation that occurred to me. And Shay, let me say this because I want to qualify what I'm saying. When I first went into business, I started off in business and I had all the vim, vigor, and vitality of a soldier going out to war. But what happened is that when I got into business, I started a for-profit business. But within about 6 months, I turned that for-profit business into a nonprofit business. In other words, it didn't make a quarter. And so I went out of business because it was a nonprofit business at that time. So I started a company, Shay. It's called SlightEdge Consulting. And what my pledge is to help you gain the slight edge. And I've been doing this for about 20 years now. And I'm a small business development coach. I do sales training. We do so much. We work with development of resources in communities as far as housing is concerned. So our company is under the umbrella of Slight Edge Consulting, where my pledge is to help you gain the slight edge. And here's the philosophy with that is that I believe that most people have about 80% of what to the planet with it. And so I believe it's that 20%, that underdeveloped part of ourselves that we have the most struggle with. They say that every journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one single significant step. Sometimes for us, it's working with somebody who can help us see what we can't see and work with our blind side. So I believe that with our philosophy of Slight Edge Consulting is that we work with the 20%. You already came with 80. Let us work with that 20. Yes, sir.
I love it. Let you work with the 20. And as you said that, everyone leaned in and said, wait a minute, Shay. He said slight edge, and then he said sales. I love both of those. So can he break down, if he was speaking to someone who was very experienced, some of you are very experienced sales folks, some of you are new, and he said, man, here are the top 3 strategies that I want to share with you so that you can be successful at sales. He's given us so much already, but maybe he'll put it into a bow. But he has 3 strategies. What would the 3 strategies be? Obviously, there's more. But what are the 3 strategies you would share right now with the audience?
Well, the first strategy is for sales is to get out of your own way. You can't do this by yourself. You're not really designed to do it by yourself, especially when you're struggling with sales. The first thing I would say is to be coachable. You have to be humble enough to know that if you're struggling with sales, obviously there's something that you're missing and that you need to work with someone that's going to help you take it to the next level. So number one is going to be to get out of your own way and to be coachable. The next thing, you have to invest in yourself. Not only do you have to invest in yourself with personal development, but you're going to have to invest in yourself financially. You're going to have to put your money where your mouth is. A lot of times we want success, but we're not willing to put any money into it. And so you're going to get that return of investment when you put your money into it, so you can get the return on investment. So we got the first one, which is you have to be coachable. You have to put your money where your mouth is and put put an investment in. And the third thing is you're going to have to put in the time. You're going to have to push away from the TV, push away from the friends, push away from the football games. You're going to have to push away from all of those things and put the time in. You're not going to get this by being an 8-hour a day person. You're going to put in 12, 14 hours a day in order to get the maximum out of yourself.
Spot on, man. I love it. You can feel his passion, feel his energy. But he also has another side, by the way. He talks about the slight edge. And you could bring 20% to the table. And this might be another unreasonable question, but I would ask him, maybe step back and say, man, what does he share with his clients who are already doing really, really well, but they want to get to that next level? Like you say, just that 20% they want to improve. What is something that you would say to the person that's leaning in and saying, yeah, I'm on a high, but I know I have the potential inside of me to perform at a higher level than whatever level I'm performing at now. What's maybe one or two things that you would share with that person that's watching right now?
And just make sure I understand your question. For that person that's already doing well.
Yeah, they're doing well, and you just bring 20%. They got the 80%. Energy's already there, and they're like, man, what does he share with people to have the right mindset, the right belief system? Because I want to get more out of life. What's one or two things he would say to me? I'm reading books, I'm making some investments, but I know there's more there. Anything pops top of mind to you would share with that person?
Well, you know what? Like I started this conversation off with you and said that you have a sniper style, and that is a great question because, I'm very rarely at a loss of words. But when I think about your question, it's an individual thing, and I believe that a need assessment, a comprehensive need assessment with the individual to determine what their thing is. It's no cookie cutter thing. It's working with the individual to find out what it is, because we all have a different opinion of what success is. We all want different things in life. And so once you identify that thing, because it takes place on a couple of different levels, you think it, right? You speak it, it materializes, and then you can reflect on it. But if you have a poor way of thinking about things, you'll never get it. When you won't even allow yourself to think about what it is that you want, well, maybe it's mindset. Maybe your 20% is allowing yourself to think about it. Shay, this is what I tell a lot of people. We have these phones, and these phones cost thousands of dollars. We walk around with these phones, and on the screensaver, we'll have a picture of our dog. We'll have a picture of a cake. We have a picture of something. But the thing that we want, we won't put it on our screensaver to look at it 1,000 times to imprint that image in our minds. Sometimes we have to trick ourselves. So you have to allow yourself to think about it. So I believe in working with people on an individual basis to find out what their individual needs are and to tailor it to them. It's equivalent to going to the doctor. You don't go into the doctor and the doctor hand you a bottle full of pills and said, take these and you're going to be better. You don't know what it's for. So you have to do an assessment to find out what's going on with the person in order to help them reach the next level.
Spot on, man. I think that makes sense and sense. It makes sense and sense. You can slow down and see where you are individually. As we listen to you right now, they might be saying, man, this guy Wendell got it going on. Has no problems. Life is just fine. He just believes every single day, gets up, and life just happens for him. We have a segment here, and I think this is a good transition, called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you already know what we're about to do. In fact, you can say those magical words, today is my January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? And for all the rest of you who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We're so glad you're here. Thanks for allowing us to stream into your home. Today is our January 1st, is our personal mantra at the show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is, here's the deal. The past no longer equals the future. So my question for Wendell is really two parts. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What do you hear? And number two, was there ever a setback in your life? And if so, what was it, and how did you bounce back from it?
I love that question because I'm going to be hot, and that's honest, open, and transparent. Back in 2024, uh, uh, I suffered from a stroke, May of 2024. I had anaphylactic shock. And I was by myself when I had this stroke. And I felt that I felt what was happening. And I had to get myself to the hospital. I didn't think I had time. I had situational awareness, but I could feel my airway closing up. I could feel my face swelling, and I had to drive myself to the hospital. I was going to make a run for it regardless of. I didn't want to wait for the ambulance to get there. And it was a good decision and a bad decision. And when I pulled into the emergency parking lot, I got out of the car and I was like, yes, I'm safe. But when I got out, I passed out. And I hit my head on the concrete and wedged between two cars. I was laying there on the ground by myself, and my body was shutting down, and I could feel it. And I thought that this was it. But I heard a voice, and I know a lot of people won't believe this, but I heard a voice saying, get up now. And when I opened my eyes, I saw a lady pushing an elderly man to the heliport to put him on the helicopter to go to a hospital that was nearby. And I yelled for help. They picked me up, put me in a stretcher, wheeled me into the hospital, and I was shutting down. I fainted a couple of times, and they picked me up and put me on a table and was cutting my clothes off. And they said that he's crashing, get the crash cart. Well, Shay, I was out of here. And I could see everything unfolding around me, but I wasn't in pain. I wasn't afraid, but my body was shutting down. Usually people only survive about 20 minutes with that type of situation, an anaphylactic shock. I'm allergic to wasp, and I was stung by a wasp, and I didn't know it. And I knew I was stung, but I didn't know this was going to happen. And so while I'm in the ICU recovering from a stroke for months, I couldn't speak, I couldn't walk, and I couldn't talk. I mean, I couldn't formulate my sentences, short-term memory loss. And I fought my way back. It was a long road. May is not that long ago. Every day is my January 1st, every single day. And so, in silence, without being able to talk, without being able to speak, without being able to walk, without assistance, I remember what I learned. And so this is so vitally important. You can take it or you can leave it alone. If you don't deposit something in, you're not going to be able to get anything out. And so all of those years of personal development, all of those years of studying, all of those years of recitation was on the inside of me. And I had to use that in order to get well. And so I'm sitting here today saying, hey, look, my setback was a setup for a comeback. Oftentimes we say, hey, what do you do? What do you do when God makes you wait? Well, you do what waiters do. You serve, right? You serve. And so I've been serving all my life, and I live the life of a life of reciprocity. I live a supernatural provision life. God gives to me, and no one can take it away from me. I don't rely on man. I rely on God to be my blessing. And so my January 1st is every single day because only I know what I've been through. I'm here to tell the testimony. A lot of people didn't make it, but guess what? Wendell Graham is still here for the time being.
And I'm so glad you're here, man. Thanks for being so open and transparent. Would you drive yourself back to the hospital again if you had to do it all over again, or would you make that call to the ambulance? I'm just curious.
Well, I didn't think I had time to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
I thought, I made a decision. It may not have been the best decision because again, I could have fainted on the road. I could have passed out. I really didn't have I was in a city that wasn't my own, so I really didn't have a good judgment of how far it was. So the short answer is no, I would not have. But I didn't want to sit there and wait and run the risk, so I did what I thought I had to do.
I don't blame you. I don't only ask that question. I like the idea that if you're going to bet anyone, you're betting on yourself. And
that's right.
When you hear those words in life, you have to sometimes bet on yourself. I'm curious what goes through your mind, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, he said, if I got to bet, I'm betting on myself right now. I didn't say it was a right thing or wrong thing. It's a personal judgment.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But when you hear those words, sometimes you got to bet on yourself. What do you hear, man? What kind of goes through your mind?
When you bet on yourself, a lot of times we're overweight and we're fat, but we won't say we're fat. We'll say we're big boned. But bet on yourself. Call yourself fat and get slim, right? If you're unlearned and you need to learn, bet on yourself and put yourself in some classes because you can help you better than anybody. You can't nobody help you but yourself. And as a matter of fact, I used to say this, the cavalry's not coming, and as a matter of fact, nobody even knows you're missing. They don't even know you're missing. So they can't come to save you. Save yourself. Shay, nobody knew I was in my apartment suffering from
I like
from a
that.
stroke. They don't. The cavalry wasn't coming to get me, and if I didn't pick up 911 for them to come and get me, they didn't know I was missing. Hey man, you better make a run for it. Maybe you pass out in the street. Maybe somebody come and pick you up. Maybe somebody drive you to the hospital. But I bet on myself all day, every day. I don't give up. I don't quit. As a matter of fact, I got shirts that say I will not be outworked. And the reason why I have those shirts is because I'm not competing against you. I'm competing against that rascal from yesterday. I won't be outworked by that guy. I'm putting in the work today to outwork him from yesterday.
I love it, man. Said so well. I love it. Every now and then I get a chance to ask a question, and one of my favorite questions to ask is, "What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?" And I love to answer that question. I'll frame it for the audience. As you talked about, Wendell already does a slight edge. He's someone who
Right.
already has an opportunity to learn probably from more videos than he can remember these days, and probably listen to more, watch more books, or read more books than he could. He's had mentors. But if you had to step back for the audience and think, wow, of all the advice I've been given, what's one of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given? What is it and why?
Great question. I love that question. I was sitting down with my mother one day and we were having coffee, and she had this faraway look. And she said, "Son, I believe that every man and woman was born with a gift, and that gift is designed to make them money." Now, I wasn't expecting the money part, but mom said that gift that you have is designed to make you money. And she said, most people don't use it because it's undiscovered. And she looked at me and she said, "Discover your gift. Discover your gift. You know that you've been doing something better than anyone else in your life. Don't allow unqualified people to qualify you. Don't allow the person who's changing your tires to give you legal advice. Don't allow the person who's doing hair to pull your teeth." My mother said that we all have a gift, and that gift is designed to make you money. It's undiscovered, and I'll add another one. It's underdeveloped. And once you develop that gift, it will put you in a position. The Bible says that your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. It'll put you in the room full of great men. Shay, let me say this. If I was a comedian and I was on the stage with your favorite comedian, we'll use any comedian at all. Let's use Mike Epps. If I was on the stage with Mike Epps, I'm not a good comedian. Matter of fact, I'm not a comedian at all. But if I was on the stage with him, guess what? You have two comedians on the stage. One may be great and one may be horrible, but you got two comedians on the stage. You will be in the presence of great men. So put yourself, give yourself a chance to win. Your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. My mother said we got the gift, but it's undiscovered and underdeveloped.
What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You seem to be having fun. You seem to be passionate about it. What do you enjoy most?
What do I enjoy most? Uh, I enjoy hearing other people's story. Have you ever heard a person say, "I'm having a horrible day," and you
Yeah.
look outside and you see the sky is blue and the sun is shining and dogs are running, and you say you're having a horrible day, and the horrible day is in your mind. You really don't know that you're having a great day. So sometimes what I enjoy about myself is hearing another person's story and elevating them, helping them elevate their consciousness to the degree that they can see themselves as the greatness as I see them. Man, I see greatness in everyone, and I just want you to see a glimpse. Can you put on my magic glasses and see through my lenses just for a minute? Because I see greatness in you.
When you were talking, I'm thinking about, you talk about mindset, talk about believing in yourself, and I'm curious, are there affirmations that you tell yourself? Are there one, two, or three favorite affirmations that you have, or maybe there's a quote or saying that you really share with yourself from time to time, just to keep yourself going? Because we're all human. Every now and then, I myself wonder why I do the things I do. By the way, I'm like, oh
Oh
my
yeah,
gosh, why did I sign up for this?
right.
But I'll slow down. This is about you, not me. So what's your thought process on just affirmations? Some people believe, some people don't
Right.
believe in them. And then number two, if you do believe in them, what's one or two affirmations that you share with yourself on a daily basis?
One of the affirmations that I tell myself every single day is, if a man don't work, he don't eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. So you got to put in the work. You gotta work. And I'm saying work. You gotta work. Put in the work. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to stay up late. Don't be afraid to not get those 8 hours of sleep or 14 hours, whatever you're doing. I don't know. I ain't gonna make a big fuss about it. But if a man doesn't work, that man doesn't eat. What keeps me going is God spared my life. And I will not be irresponsible with the time that I have left. That's it. In a nutshell. That's my mantra. I will not be irresponsible with the time that I have left. I'm going to laugh when it's funny. I'm going to cry when I'm sad. I'm going to allow myself feel all of the emotions. I'm going to eat a good meal. I'm going to relax. I have a good work-life balance. I love to work. That's my thing. I love to work and I love to see people succeed. So I work with people to help them succeed, but I love life. So I will not be irresponsible. And you can't make me. You can't make me be irresponsible with the time. You ain't gonna waste my time. If you don't want to do nothing, then I'm not the guy for you. Go and work with somebody else. But if you want to work and you want to have a good, enjoy your life, I will not be irresponsible with the time that I have left.
I love it. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world, helping people have the slight edge, helping them with sales strategies and being successful? What do you do for fun these days, man?
Well, I'm in Alabama, so we're in the country here. We have a 40-acre farm, and we have horses, and we have a house out there. And I go out there by the lake. I love to fish. I love to read books. I love to spend time with my kids. I have 3 kids. So I do, I'm a normal person just like everybody else. When it's time to get into, getting down to brass tactics and hand-to-hand combat, I'm ready at a moment's notice. You can call me at 2 o'clock. I wouldn't advise it. Don't call me at 2 o'clock, but I'm just simply saying. But I'm ready at a moment's notice, just like a minute man. But I just enjoy the good outdoors and enjoying my family, enjoying life, man. That's a great question, yes.
Ah, man. Well, as we come down the home stretch, 2-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. And I said something just a second ago, and we're going to segue right into it. Sometimes I ask people, who are your clients, and they say everybody. No, 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 no. Delusional, in my opinion, but just a little bit delusional. Everybody's a client because only your tribe can hear your voice, right? And so you want to work with a certain type of clientele. So I want to work with people who may have been struggling, may have been frustrated, may think that, you know what, this is it. May not know that they have a gift or a talent, and they need somebody to sit down with them and have a consultation with them and to help them, listen to them, and try to compartmentalize it and put it in the right order. You can reach me at SlightEdgeConsulting.com. There's an information form on my website that you can fill out. You can submit that form, and one of my representatives will get back with you within 24 to 48 hours to set up an appointment with you. But it's SlightEdgeConsulting.com. SlightEdgeConsulting.com. It's a user-friendly website. Just go down to the information page, and you'll learn everything about me on that page. It's full of information. So check it out, SlightEdgeConsulting.com.
Well, let me say thank you so much, man, for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Shout out to Saucony Prince for reconnecting this man with a fantastic collaborator. He is. Appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And thank you. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show. So we appreciate you allowing us to stream on your iPad maybe right now. Maybe we're on your smart device. Maybe we're on your big screen TV right now. That's kind of cool. Or maybe you just listen to the podcast as you're cruising down the road. Thank you so much. I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, that today is your January 1st. What a fresh start you get. You get a do-over. You get an opportunity to know that your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, it hasn't changed. It's still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And we'll make some good things how we connect again next time. God bless. I wish you success. We out of here. Peace.